Good evening. On Thursday evening this week, the nation was saddened to hear of the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Accordingly, our programme this week has been adjusted and is shorter than usual, and the content is slightly different. Following the announcement from Buckingham Palace, the Lord Lieutenant of Dorset has paid tribute to Her Majesty the Queen, who has died at the age of 96. Her Majesty was on the throne for 70 years and was the longest reigning monarch in British history. Angus Campbell, Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant for Dorset, said, "The country is in deep mourning following the loss of Her Majesty. All our thoughts are with the members of the royal family at this most difficult time." Whilst still a princess, on her 21st birthday, Her Majesty's broadcast a declaration to the country and the Commonwealth, which included the following words: "I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong." Those words encapsulate the love, service and pure strength of character with which Her Majesty has led the monarchy of Great Britain and the Commonwealth over her extraordinary 70-year reign. It is so special to see the words of a 21-year-old princess so perfectly foreshadowing her long life of dedicated service to us all. The Lord Lieutenant goes on to say, "We have all lost a unique, loving and determined monarch who has over 70 years not only delivered the extraordinary devoted service and support she promised at such an early age, but given us so very much more besides. Our loss is incalculable." Arrangements are now in place for books of condolence across Dorset. Books are available at the County Hall in Dorchester and in libraries across Dorset. Dorset Museum in Dorchester are collecting memories of the Queen during the 10-day period of mourning up to the funeral. Following the Queen's state funeral, the Book of Memories will be added to the museum's collection and preserved for future generations. All visitors are welcome to contribute to the Book of Memories and leave their thoughts, memories and condolences. Elizabeth Selby, who's the interim director of Dorset Museum, says, "The Queen has a long relationship with Dorset and visited a number of times during her reign, including shortly after her accession to the throne in 1952. The Dorset Museum Book of Memories for Queen Elizabeth II will enable us to collect and preserve the memories and reflections of Dorset people during this period of mourning and preserve it for the future. We hope that people will visit the museum to share their memories." Now, for those who wish to leave flowers, these can be left at County Hall in Dorchester and at Greenhill Gardens in Weymouth. They will remain in place until after the funeral. Councils are asking that flowers are unwrapped and that no non-compostable materials are used, so no plastics, etc. Here in Wyke, Regis, books of condolence are available both at Wyke Regis Library and at All Saints Church in Wyke Regis, where it will be available 10 o'clock till 12 and 3 o'clock to 5 daily, except Sundays when it will be just from 3 o'clock to 5. This morning the formal proclamation of the new king was made at St James's Palace in London. Tomorrow a regional proclamation from the High Sheriff will be made at County Hall in Dorchester at 1 p.m. Then a local proclamation will be held by Weymouth Town Council. This will be read by Council Leader, Councillor David Harris at 2:30 p.m. at the Jubilee Clock. This will be attended by the Mayor of Weymouth, Councillor Anne Weaving, mace bearers, councillors and staff. Members of the public are welcome to attend. It will mark one of the first occasions when communities can come together to reflect on the moment when the reign of our longest-serving monarch came to an end and our new sovereign, King Charles III, succeeded. The Union flag at Weymouth Town Council offices at New Town Hall, Commercial Road, will return to full mast for the reading of the proclamation before then being returned to half mast until after the funeral. Now, turning to other things linked with that sad news, following the death of Her Majesty the Queen, a number of events have been cancelled or postponed. The Weymouth Fete, due to take place at Weymouth Hospice Care Inpatient Unit on Herringston Road in Dorset, has been postponed. A rearranged date will be announced in due course. Also, the organisers of the Tour of Britain have announced that stages 7 and 8 have been cancelled. Stage 7 was to have begun in West Bay, passing through Dorchester and Weymouth, and ending up in Ferndown today. In Wyke, Regis, the last night of the proms, due to be held next Saturday, has been postponed, and it's hoped that a new date will be announced soon. The Weymouth Seafood Festival has gone ahead this weekend. Now, if you're attending any events, do look to their websites and for information as to whether events are going ahead, cancelled or postponed. Now, turning to other news, key stakeholders and specialists are coming together tomorrow. That's not tomorrow, Wednesday the 7th of September. Sorry, they have got together on Wednesday the 7th of September to discuss the future options for Sansford Council. Officers from Dorset Council, which owns the castle, have met representatives of Historic England, Weymouth Town Council, Natural England and the Jurassic Coast Trust to discuss the options available to preserve the castle. Now, in November 2021, Sansford Castle, which is a scheduled monument, was added to Historic England's at-risk register, and it continued to deteriorate. In January 2021, the council fenced the castle off to the public after cracks appeared on its walls and health and safety concerns were raised. A structural survey of the castle has been undertaken by Historic England, and a feasibility study is being carried out by consultants who have produced a list of options to discuss with stakeholders. The list of options to manage coastal erosion that threatens the castle range from doing nothing to implementing high-cost cliff stabilisation work, including drainage to help stop the cliff further eroding. Councillor Tona Ferrari, who's Dorset Council's portfolio holder for assets and property, said, "It's important that we're discussing the options for the castle this week with our stakeholders. Their views and direction will help inform the next steps. We must be mindful that while the castle is a scheduled monument and much loved local landmark, it does sit at the top of a very unstable cliff, which is rapidly eroding. Significant defence works would have the most impact on the Jurassic Coast, have the highest carbon footprint and be the most expensive option, but would deliver the best long-term stability of the castle. At the other end of the scale, we could make no intervention at all. This would have the lowest environmental impact and cost, but it would eventually result in the loss of this scheduled monument." So, obviously the local authority do want to hear your views on what should happen to the castle at Sansford. Now, you've got until the 30th of September to get your views in, and you can send your views by email to Dorset Council, and the email address is property.helpdesk@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. That's property.helpdesk@dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. And so that cut-off date is the 30th of September. Now, with a challenging autumn and winter ahead, and donations taking a dip during the summer holidays, Weymouth Rotary have made 2 major donations this August using monies raised at the Fair in the Square event in May. The first was a cheque for £1,000 to Weymouth Food Bank. Chair of Trustees JP Devley said, "Our food donations have not been keeping pace with the increased demand for our services. Donations such as yours allow us to buy food to top up our supplies to meet demand. In particular, it allows us to buy fresh fruit and vegetables to supplement the cans and packets we provide." In the 6 months to June 2022, we saw demand across the 3 locations we operate increase by more than 50% in comparison with the same period in the previous year. We helped 511 families, 382 couples and 1,084 singles in this period. This equates to more than 35,000 meals. With food and energy prices continuing to increase, we expect that the need for our community for food banks will continue to grow. Now, Weymouth Rotary were also able to make a donation to the Nest Community Shop, an enterprise created to help those on low incomes receive good, nutritious food at low prices. This is the most recent donation that the club have been able to make to the shop, Rotary President David Langridge said, and that's David on the left in the picture. He went on to say, "There's no question these are challenging times for us all, but those with low incomes are suffering the most. Thanks to the generosity of the people of Weymouth and the efforts of our members organising fundraising events, we are proud to make a difference in partnership with charities and community organisations in the area." So thank you there to the Rotary Club. Now, Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service is supporting Business Safety Week, the annual campaign by the National Fire Chiefs Council, which this year runs from the 5th of September through till tomorrow, the 11th of September. The aim is to make businesses aware of their fire safety responsibilities and for employees to have the information they need to help prevent and respond to fires in the workplace. Business Fire Safety Manager Emma Turner said, "So many fires in the workplace are preventable, so our main focus this year has been the introduction of business fire safety checks. These came about following some great collaborative work between the training, inspection and business support teams with our protection department and our operational crews, who are now out and about supporting small businesses within Dorset and Wiltshire. Using their detailed local knowledge, fire crews are now making contact with small businesses to offer a free check. This involves meeting with the responsible person at the business to give simple advice on how to make the premises and the people within it safer from the risk of fire, to confirm that they're doing the right thing with regard to fire safety." Emma went on to say, in the most recent quarter, crews completed some 240 such checks, and around 10% of these resulted in follow-ups by a fire safety officer. This new process is bringing great value to our local communities by improving fire safety in the places where people shop, work, play and visit, and helps to ensure that our local businesses continue to flourish and to prosper. Now, further information for businesses, including how to complete a fire risk assessment, can be found on the Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service website at www.dwfire.org.uk/business-fire-safety. That's www.dwfire.org.uk/business-fire-safety. Now, schools and community groups. Let's get the right picture up. There we go. No, that's not the right picture, is it? Hang on, let's take that one down. There we go. Schools and community groups in the area can once again take advantage of the Woodland Trust's Free Trees initiative. This year saw record numbers of trees sent out across the UK, and even more free saplings are now available for the next round of applications. It's a wonderful scheme, and I'm sure would be interest to schools and groups across the area. The Woodland Trust has ambitious plans to break its record annual giveaway of more than 1.3 million free trees to schools and community groups as the next round of tree packs applications opens up. Almost 9,000 schools and community groups benefited from the UK's largest woodland conservation charity's ever popular scheme in 2022. Application for trees to be delivered in the spring of 2023 are now opened, and the Woodland Trust Senior Project Lead Vicky Baddeley hopes even more schools and groups will take up the offer of free saplings and get planting in the coming year. Now, the Woodland Trust is the largest woodland conservation charity in the UK with more than 500,000 supporters. It wants to see a UK rich in native wood and trees for people and wildlife. The Trust has three key aims: to protect ancient woodland, which is rare, unique and irreplaceable; restoration of damaged ancient woodland, bringing precious pieces of our natural history back to life; and establishing native trees and woods with the aim of creating resilient landscapes for people and wildlife. Now, more information on the work of the Woodland Trust can be found at www.woodlandtrust.org.uk. And for those schools and community groups that want to apply for the free trees, they can go to www.woodlandtrust.org.uk/free trees. Nice and easy to remember that. www.woodlandtrust.org.uk/free trees. Now, officers investigating an incident where sheep were attacked in Ringstead are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward. Dorset Police received a report that between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. on Saturday the 27th of August, 4 sheep were the victims of a dog attack on land near the main car park at Ringstead. 2 of the sheep were found dead, unfortunately, and 2 others suffered head injuries, losing their ears as a result of the attack. Police Community Support Officer Mike Cynick of Dorset Police's Rural Crime Team said, "We are carrying out inquiries into this incident, which has resulted in the farmer seeing 2 of his animals killed and another 2 sheep left with nasty injuries." The area around Ringstead car park would have been busy at that time, as it was a bank holiday Saturday, and I am appealing to anyone who witnessed anything at all to please come forward. Now, if you saw anything or heard anything or were in the area and have got any information that might be useful to Dorset Police, do give them a call on 101. If you'd like to give the information anonymously, you can do this as usual through the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, residents are being invited to a series of events to discuss the future of adult social care. The way adult social care could be delivered will be discussed, as well as how the council develops ideas and solutions to serve residents' needs over the next 5 to 10 years. Councillors and senior leaders in the Adults Directorate of the council want residents to contribute their thoughts on how the service could look over the next 5 to 10 years, with a series of strategies put forward to start the conversation. Residents who use the service and their families, those employed in care services, and members of the public with an interest are encouraged to read the strategies and join the conversation so plans can be formulated with insightful input. Starting on the 19th of September and running through October, the events comprise workshops with interactive discussions and drop-in sessions for those preferring a shorter informal conversation about their needs and aspirations at the council's proposals. Now, there are a number of workshops and drop-in sessions across the whole of Dorset. I'm just going to tell you about those at this end of the county. Now, the first one is Wednesday the 21st of September. This is a workshop with the title, "What is going to change about how you pay for your care and support?" to do with the social care reforms. That is from 1:30 to 5 p.m. at Dorset Museum. So that is on the Wednesday the 21st of September, 1:30 to 5 p.m. at Dorset Museum. On Wednesday the 28th of September, there's another workshop, this time in Weymouth at the Rembrandt Hotel. This workshop's called "Every Conversation About Care and Support is a Conversation About Accommodation." Now, that is at 1:30 to 5 p.m. at the Rembrandt Hotel in Weymouth on Wednesday the 28th of September. Wednesday the 12th of October, there's another workshop, "Staying Healthy and Independent in the Community." That is at Bridport Leisure Centre, again 1:30 to 5 p.m. That's Wednesday the 12th of October. Thursday the 20th of October, there's a drop-in session from 9 in the morning to 12:30 noon, and that's at the Portland Community Venue at 3 Yards Close on Portland. Now, we will be giving more information about these sessions as we get closer. If you are interested, I'm sure there'll be more information available on the Dorset Council website, but I say we will bring them to your attention as we get closer to those dates. Now, that's the end of our headlines this week. We've got no special reports this week. As I say, it's a shorter, more appropriate programme this week. But we have got the film review this week, and we're now going over to Andrew Wright for this week's film review.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV Film Review and Preview. I'm Andrew Wright. Last week, the much-anticipated new series, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, launched on Amazon Prime Video in a big splash of publicity. The series takes place during Middle-earth's Second Age and features major events such as the rise of the Dark Lord Sauron, as well as the forging of the Rings of Power. Now, I checked out the first 2 episodes because I was highly anticipating the series due to being a fan of the films. So I found the series takes a Game of Thrones approach and features at least 3 to 4 storylines spread out over multiple locations and characters and focusing on certain main characters' storylines. I'm quite 50-50 on this approach because it packs a lot of different stories into hour-long episodes, so I'm hoping that this approach pays off in the long run, but I enjoyed it overall. The Rings of Power streams Fridays at 5 AM UK time on Amazon Prime Video. The Venice Film Festival has been ongoing this week with multiple smaller films making their premieres to critics and audiences. The biggest and most anticipated film to premiere there ahead of the start of its theatrical run later this month was Don't Worry Darling, a psychological thriller film from actress and director Olivia Wilde and starring Harry Styles, Florence Pugh and Chris Pine. The film revolves around a couple living in a perfect 1950s community until a housewife's investigation into her husband's work creates cracks and tensions in their utopian community. The film had suffered a troubled production, which included the firing of actor Shia LaBeouf and the director's tensions with lead actress Florence Pugh. The critics' reviews that came out of Venice were quite mixed, with praise going to Florence Pugh's acting, but criticism was directed at the script, directing, and Harry Styles' performance. Don't Worry Darling premieres in cinemas on September 23rd, courtesy of Warner Brothers Pictures. Another big film that premiered at the film festival was the Netflix film Blonde, an adaptation of the 2000 biographical fiction novel of the same name, and it is a fictionalized take on the life of actress Marilyn Monroe, who is played in this film by Ana de Armas, who is notable for her roles in films such as Knives Out and No Time to Die. The film has switching aspect ratios as well as being largely shot in black and white, but has portions in colour as well. However, the film has been placed under a big microscope due to the controversy surrounding the fact that it is the first Netflix movie to be granted the rating of NC-17 by the Motion Picture Association of America, which translates to an 18 rating from the BBFC. This rating is controversial because it was given due to the film containing graphic sexual content. The film has a runtime of 166 minutes and will stream on Netflix on September 28th. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will talk about the release of the new Kevin Smith movie, Clerks 3. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much for that, Andrew. Now it's time that we move to the national weather forecast, and this week we are joined by Aidan McGivern from the Met Office.
Hello. For many, it's a drier weekend compared with the week that's been. And into Saturday evening, the showers for many will disappear, with clear spells breaking out fairly widely. Under those clear skies with light winds, again, it's a cool night, and not just for Scotland and Northern Ireland. I think quite widely a cooler night is expected, and fairly widely we're likely to see some mist and fog form by dawn. So some poor visibility once again, but shouldn't last that long on Sunday. I think it will get out of the way by about 7 or 8 a.m. once again, and a lot of places will see sunny spells throughout Sunday. Areas of cloud still developing, and 1 or 2 showers couldn't be ruled out down the spine of the country. However, for many it's looking like a dry and fairly bright day with some sunshine. That is until later on across parts of Western Scotland and eventually Northern Ireland, when some outbreaks of perhaps quite heavy rainfall turn up. Temperatures reaching the high teens and low 20s, perhaps a degree or so higher compared with Saturday. Now the rain towards the west and northwest, that's going to move across Scotland and Northern Ireland through the night on Sunday. It'll clear to showers on Monday, but it'll push into central areas before eventually ending up in the south by Tuesday.
Thank you very much, Aidan, for that. And looking at the weather for the week ahead on the local front, we're back to that changeable weather with some sunny spells, some cloud and some rain through until Wednesday, with it getting brighter at the weekend, but still quite mild. So changeable and mild. Good growing weather, I think, is what we would say. Needed by the gardens, but hopefully not too much rain that it stops us getting out and about. Now, moving to what's on this week, we're not giving particular details of what is running. Obviously, it's a changeable scene at the moment, with many events being postponed, cancelled, or confirming that they're running. So what we would say is, if you're attending any events, do check with the organiser. Best bet is their website first of all, if they've got one. If not, a telephone call to make sure whether things are running or not. One thing's for sure that are running. Tomorrow is regular church services, and churches across the country will become a major focus over the next 10 days, as people want to mark the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, and all churches will be doing special services, or will be turning their regular services into something appropriate to mark this solemn occasion. Now, within Wyke Regis, the services tomorrow are 8 o'clock at All Saints, a 9:30 service at All Saints, where definitely there will be a reflection on the death of Queen Elizabeth II. That service will be live streamed for anybody who wants to watch it from home as well, and 11 o'clock from St Edmund's Church as well. Don't forget that books of condolence are available in Wyke Regis, both at the library on Portland Road and at All Saints Church, Monday through to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and 3 o'clock through to 5 o'clock, and just on Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and those will be available until the day of the funeral. Wyke Regis TV has decided that we won't be running our weekly quiz tonight or next week. Thought it was appropriate that we would not run them, but run our news programmes. The gardening programmes are going out as normal, and Wyke Regis News will be on next Saturday at 6 o'clock, as long as next Saturday doesn't end up being the day of Queen Elizabeth II's funeral. We think it will be Monday the 19th, but if it does turn out to be the Saturday for any reason, we will not have the regular news programme. Now that brings us to the end of this week's special shortened programme, but I'm going to leave you with a video bringing together some of the events since Thursday's sad news, and particularly some shots of things that have happened in the locality, as well as some of those things from the national scene for us to focus on as we finish this evening's programme. I hope you have a good week, a week at a very historic time for our nation, with a new Prime Minister, the death of the longest serving monarch ever, and obviously the announcement of a new king, King Charles III. I'll be with you next week. Good night.